What if I told you that the most dangerous individuals among us are not the obviously evil, but those who wear a mask of dazzling light, a facade so compelling it blinds us to the abyss beneath? Nietzsche famously declared, "God is dead," and in that void, something primal, something self-serving, often rises to claim dominion, the ego, untethered, unexamined. This isn't just a philosophical musing, it's a stark reality playing out in our daily lives, giving rise to what we clinically label as narcissism. But to truly understand the narcissist, we must transcend the clinical and delve into the philosophical roots of their fractured self, their desperate dance with power, and their profound inability to genuinely connect. We're not just looking for symptoms, we're seeking the philosophical psychology of a soul lost in its own reflection, and more importantly, how to protect your own authentic self from its destructive gravity. This journey isn't just about identifying a type, it's about reclaiming your personal sovereignty and clarity in a world often clouded by manipulation and illusion. Join me as we uncover the 7 telltale signs of a narcissist, seen through the lens of philosophical psychology, and learn how to navigate these treacherous waters with wisdom and strength. Have you ever felt like you're constantly walking on eggshells, your emotions swinging wildly from elation to profound confusion, all dictated by the whims of another? Perhaps you've experienced the slow erosion of your self-worth, a nagging voice whispering that you're the problem, you're too sensitive, you're never enough. Maybe you find yourself endlessly explaining, justifying, and apologizing, only to be met with blank stares or aggressive deflection. This isn't just everyday relational friction. This is the insidious, soul-crushing impact of a narcissistic dynamic. It's the feeling of being seen not as a person, but as an object, a source of supply, an audience for their grand performance, a mirror for their fragile ego. You pour your energy, your empathy, your very essence into a relationship that feels like a black hole, draining you dry while offering nothing but fleeting crumbs of affection, swiftly followed by gaslighting and contempt. This pattern leaves you questioning your reality, doubting your own perceptions, and feeling profoundly alone. It's a subtle form of psychological warfare that, without philosophical insight, can leave you emotionally shattered, stripped of your identity, and disconnected from your authentic self. The pain is real, the confusion is deliberate, and the solution lies not in changing them, but in understanding them. And more importantly, understanding and fortifying yourself. Philosophical psychology teaches us that true psychological health isn't just the absence of disorder, but the active pursuit of self-knowledge, integrity, and authenticity. Narcissism, in this framework, isn't merely a personality disorder. It's a profound philosophical failure, a refusal to confront one's own shadow, an inflated persona that has consumed the true self, and a desperate, often unconscious, will to power that subjugates others. Carl Jung would speak of the ego inflating itself into the entire psyche, obscuring the vast, complex self. Nietzsche might see it as an unhealthy manifestation of the will to power, a desperate outward projection of dominance to compensate for an inner void, a resentment against life itself. From this perspective, the narcissist isn't just flawed, they are existentially fragmented. Let's delve into the 7 telltale signs, understanding them not just as behaviors, but as manifestations of this deep-seated philosophical fracture. 1. Grandiose sense of self-importance. This isn't confidence, it's a delusion. They genuinely believe they are uniquely talented, special, and superior, deserving of exceptional treatment and admiration. For Jung, this is the inflated ego mistaking itself for the self, a failure to integrate the shadow aspects that would humble them. For Nietzsche, it's a distorted will to power, an outward performance of strength to mask profound inner insecurity. 2. Constant need for admiration. Their self-worth is an external construct. They are praise junkies, constantly fishing for compliments, seeking validation from others as a vital supply. This insatiable hunger is a bottomless pit. No amount of external validation can fill the internal void. It's a life lived for the approval of others, a constant performance of a grand persona, lacking true internal fortitude. She 3. Sense of entitlement. They believe they are inherently special and therefore deserve automatic compliance with their expectations. Rules, boundaries, and reciprocity simply don't apply to them. This isn't just arrogance, it's a philosophical stance where their subjective desires become objective demands, a complete disregard for the equal agency of others, echoing a distorted, childish master morality. 4. Exploitative relationships. People are not seen as fellow travelers on life's journey, but as instruments to achieve their goals. They will use, manipulate, and discard others without remorse, viewing others as mere extensions of their own will. Machiavelli would nod knowingly at this purely instrumental view of human connection, where power and self-interest dictate all interactions. 5. Lack of empathy. This is perhaps the most chilling sign. They are profoundly unable to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Their emotional landscape is solipsistic, revolving entirely around themselves. Jung would identify this as a severe lack of integration of the feeling function, a profound disconnect from the collective human experience, leading to an isolation of the soul. 6. Envy of others, or belief that others envy them. They often resent the successes and good fortunes of others, or conversely, operate under the delusion that everyone is constantly envious of them. This duality stems from a deep well of insecurity and competitive drive, a projection of their own inadequacies onto others, or a reflection of Nietzschean resentment, the hidden venom of the weak masked by a desire for power. 7. Arrogant, haughty behaviors, attitudes. Their superiority complex manifests as dismissive, condescending, and arrogant behaviors. They speak down to others, interrupt, and belittle, all in an effort to maintain their perceived elevated status. This is the persona in full, desperate, and often aggressive command, asserting its false dominion over the environment and the minds of others. Recognizing these signs through a philosophical lens is the first step towards reclaiming your power. It's not enough to simply identify, we must respond with wisdom. Here are 5 practical applications rooted in philosophical psychology to fortify your authentic self. 1. Cultivate radical self-awareness, Jungian integration. Understand your own vulnerabilities, your own shadow. Why are you drawn to these dynamics? What needs are being unhealthily met? Confronting your own unlived life prevents you from projecting your self-worth onto others or seeking it from a narcissist. This is about integrating your true self, not just your persona. 2. Establish unbreakable boundaries, USE Nietzschean affirmation. Your will to power, when healthy, means asserting your own values and limits. A narcissist sees boundaries as a challenge to their authority. Your response must be firm, consistent, and without explanation or apology. This is an act of self-sovereignty, affirming your own existence and value distinct from their projections. 3. Practice emotional detachment, stoic observation. Narcissists thrive on emotional reaction. Their gaslighting, rage, or pity plays are designed to hook you. Learn to observe their behaviors as an objective external event, rather than internalizing them. This is the stoic art of distinguishing what is within your control, your reaction, from what is outside it, their behavior. You cannot change them. You can only change your engagement. 4. Seek external validation and support, communal wisdom. Do not fight this battle alone. Share your experiences with trusted friends, family, or a therapist who understands these dynamics. Their objective perspective can ground you when your reality is being distorted. This is a recognition that genuine human connection, built on mutual respect and empathy, is the antithesis of the narcissistic dynamic. 5. Reclaim your narrative and purpose, existential reauthorship. A narcissist tries to write you into their story as a supporting character. You must consciously reauthor your own life, affirming your unique purpose, values, and identity. This is an existential act of courage to live authentically, define your own meaning, and pursue your own self-actualization, irrespective of their approval or disapproval. This path is one of profound self-mastery, transforming the challenge into a catalyst for your deepest growth. The journey out of a narcissistic dynamic is not easy, but it is one of the most vital acts of self-liberation you can undertake. It demands courage, self-reflection, and a steadfast commitment to your own truth. By understanding the philosophical roots of narcissism, you gain not just insight, but also the tools to fortify your own psychological defenses and reclaim your authentic, powerful self. Remember, your ultimate strength lies not in fighting their delusion, but in nurturing your own reality. Embrace your authentic self, set your boundaries, and live a life defined by your own truth, unburdened by the illusions of others. The greatest act of rebellion against the narcissistic impulse is to simply, truly, profoundly be yourself. And that, my friends, is a philosophical victory.